Good day, everyone. So, for today, we're going to talk about the affective assessment tool. So, it is used to assess attitudes, interests, motivations, and self-leniency. So, there are various of assessment tools that can be used to measure the effect. So, one of it is the rating scales. Rating scales refers to a set of categories designed to elicit information about a quantitative attribution into social science. So it is to measure the quality or the frequency of a student work. So rating scales has its type. So one of it is the numerical rating scales. So numerical rating scales is to translate judgment of quality or degree into numbers. So example, given direction, indicate a degree to which the student contributes to team activity by encircling the appropriate number. So there are rating scales. So from 4, 3 to 1. So from 4, it gives descriptions of constantly appropriate and effective. Third, generally appropriate and effective. Second, needs improvement and may do an appropriate or unrelated task. And one, unsatisfactory and give destructive and do other tasks unrelated to the activity. So this is done to what extent does the student participate to team meetings and discussions. So the second type is the descriptive graphic rating skills. So it replaces the ambiguous single word with short behavioral descriptions of the various points along the scales. So for example of it is to what extent does the student participate in team meetings and discussions. So there are certain surveys, for example, a customer satisfaction survey which needs to be described all the answer options in detail so that every customer has to be thoroughly explained so that the information are well executed and well expected to the customer. So that is the descriptive graphic rating skills. So the last type of a rating scale is the common rating skills errors. So it includes strictness or leniency, central tendency or Haley effect, and recency of events. So that is the types of rating scales: the numerical rating scales, the descriptive graphic rating scales, and the comma rating scale error. So let's proceed to the another assessment tool, affective assessment tool, which is the semantic differential scale. So semantic differential scale tries to access an individual's reaction to specific words, ideas, or concepts in terms of ratings on bipolar scales defined with contrasting adjective in each end. So, in other words, semantic differential scale is a survey or a questionnaire rating scale that asks people to rate a product or a brand or any entity within the frames of a multi-point rating option. This survey answering options are grammatically on opposite adjectives at each end. For example, love, hate, satisfied, unsatisfied, and likely to return, unlikely to return, unlikely return or unlikely to return, with intermediate options in between. So, surveys or questionnaire using the semantic differential scale survey feature is the most reliable way to get information on people's emotional attitude towards a topic of interest. So let's proceed to Likert scale. So Likert scale is like a question that uses a 5 or a 7 point scale, sometimes referred to as satisfaction scales, that ranges from one extreme attitudes to another. Typically, the Likert survey question includes a moderate or neutral option in its scales. Likert scales is quite popular because they are they are one of the most reliable ways to measure opinions, perceptions, and behaviors. Compared to binary questions, which give you only two answer options, Likert type questions will get you more granular feedback about whether your product was just good enough or, or hopefully or excellent. And Likert questions can help you decide whether whether a recent company outing left employees feeling or very satisfied, somewhat dissatisfied, or maybe just neutral. So Likert scales can give you that kind of knowledge, or this method will let you uncover degrees of opinions that could make a real difference in understanding the feedback after getting. And it can also pinpoint the areas where you might want to improve your service or product. And it has steps on how to construct the Likert skills instrument. So first, write a series of statements expressing positive and negative opinion towards objects. Second, select the best statement, at least 10, with a balance of positive and negative opinions, and edit as necessary. Um, Third is list the statement combining the positive and negative and put the letters of 5 point scale to the left at each statement for easy marking. Fourth, add the directions indicating how to mark the answers and include a key at the top of the page if letters are used for each statement. And lastly, some prefer to drop the undecided category so that respondents will force to indicate agreement or disagreement. So that is how to construct the Likert scales of instrument. So next is the checklist. So checklist is the most common and perhaps the easiest instrument to construct in the affective domain. A checklist consists of simple items that the student or a teacher marks as absent or present. So like having an attendance like that. So in constructing a checklist, it should be enumerate all the attributes and characteristics if you wish to observe the relative to the concept being measured. Second, arrange these attributes as a shopping list or characteristics. Third, ask the students to mark those attributes or characteristics which are present and to leave blank those which are not needed. So, checklist, for example, is the bucket list. You have the checklist on what things you would do this day, the other day, and the other plans. So that's one of the example of checklist. So we already know what checklist is. So let's proceed to the last. So last but not the least is the sentence completion. So it is the advantage of using the incomplete sentence format is that it is captures the whatever comes to our mind from each student. So it is like a measurement of what you had in your mind while the discussion. For example of it is, so one of it is the example is Jack was cleared all charges similarly with Jill was blank. So there is a blank. So you should complete the sentence. So here we have to compare cleared of all charges with a suitable word, and hence vindicate is the answer. So another example is that the pickpocketers was texter. In other words, a blank. Here answer will be have or scrolled with restates sticker. So comparison containing the words such as likewise, similarly, and just as like, and etc. Well, sentence completion test that the scale is used the information observed in a complex and incomplete sentence in order to correctly complete them. It tests a candidate's vocabulary, power, and skill to follow the logic of sentences. So these sentences are often quite complex, so that is the sentence completion. So thank you very much.